What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to discuss how to pick orders in the Navy. So I'm going to kind of start from the beginning because most of you guys who may be watching this video are probably new members in the delayed entry program or new into the military. So we're going to go over how you pick orders. Once you graduate boot camp and you move on to A school, you kind of really don't have an option in most A schools that I've seen. Me personally, I've been through 2 A schools. After being in submarines for 4 years, I cross-rated to a different rate. So I went through 2 different A schools, and both in which, in sub school, I didn't have an option. My second rate that I am now, I did have an option because I was called something fleet returnee. So I had more privileges than people who were just at a boot camp. But if you go to your first A school, most of the time you don't have an option. You can do something called a dream sheet, which is your top 3 picks on where you want to go, and it's mainly location based, not necessarily an exact base. So you can say, oh, I want to go East Coast or overseas or West Coast, or you can do it by state, but most of the time they really don't come to fruition. Sometimes you get lucky, but most of the time it's kind of just shooting in the dark. You get what you get based on what the Navy needs. But after you complete your first tour at your first command, so you graduate A school, you go to your first ship or first shore duty based on your rate. There's a lot of factors that go into this. Then you're eligible to start selecting orders to where you want to go. So the Navy just recently changed this. They use a system called CMSID, which I don't know what that stands for. But once you get to your command, you get something called your PRD, which is your projected rotation date, which is the month and year that you're projected to leave that command to go to your next. And that's what CMSID bases your selection cycle off of. So for instance, right now my PRD from the ship that I'm on now is August 2020. So in August 2019, 1 year prior to my PRD, CMSID will open up for me, and then it'll have a list of orders for my rate and my rank, because that's how it's broken up. It's based off what rate and what rank you are. There'll be a list of orders that you can apply for, and you pick your top 5 choices, and then that window is open for about a week. Everyone in the Navy who's also in that window, same as you, can go in and select orders. And then a whole selection process happens behind the scenes, and that's done by a person called a detailer, and they kind of go through different things, and I'm not really going to go into that now because it's just kind of too much, but they go through certain selection process on who they select for those orders. You don't necessarily get picked that first time, so you may not get selected for any of the top 5 that you pick. So what happens then is you wait 2 months, and then your CMSID window will open up again, and then you go through the same process. You can call your detailer and be like, hey, I really want to go here, I really want to go there, and kind of talk to her, or him or her, based on who it is. And sometimes they work with you, sometimes they don't. That's all based on their personal preference on what kind of detailer they want to be. But that's pretty much how it works. You apply for certain billets. Say like I'm on a ship right now, and what I really want to do my next command is I want to go be an instructor at my rate's A school. So I would have to apply for that. It's just like the civilian world, but that's pretty much how you pick orders in the Navy. It's not necessarily you get what you get. You can really fight for what you want, and most of the time you do get it. So there's like a common misconception where the Navy just sends you wherever they want. That's kind of how it is right at A school, but you haven't really earned the right yet to pick where you want to go, if that makes sense. But once you do your first tour at your first command, then you're considered a seasoned sailor. The word they use is first accession. First accession sailor is what you are pretty much through your first contract. But your first contract and your first rotation date are normally around the same time. So once you're not a first accession sailor anymore, they kind of let you start picking and doing what you want. Again, it's not a guarantee, but 95% of the time you get what you want. out of the 2 times I've picked for orders as a non-first accession sailor, I got what I wanted. So the only time I didn't get what I wanted was when I was in my first A school right out of boot camp. So I hope this video answered some questions that you guys may have, and leave anything down in the comments, any other questions you want me to answer, and I appreciate you guys taking time out to watch this video. And until next time.
No, no, no.